Hey everybody, welcome back to Joyful Homestead. If you're a chicken owner, or soon would love to be a chicken owner, you will find that one of the limiting factors of owning chickens and having great abundance of eggs every day is the cost of chicken feed. I know in the several years that I have been a chicken owner, costs of feed have risen almost double what they were at the start. But I'd like to show you today how you can ferment your own chicken feed. It's healthy, it's cheap. So let's find out right now how to do that. I have a steel garbage can that I use for my chicken grains before I ferment them. These are the raw grains. In here I have wheat berries and I have some barley. I also sometimes use oats, but the nice thing about these grains is, well, first of all, they're non-GMO. I found a source that I can source them non-GMO, so I know that they're healthy and they're raw. They haven't been processed. They come in these great 50-pound bags and they're fantastically priced. I can get a bag for $12. Of course, that's the same size as those commercial chicken feeds, so we're talking about less than half the cost. Plus, I know what's in them. And one of the questions that people have sometimes about the commercial chicken feeds nowadays is, what's in them? I mean, do they have enough protein? Are the nutrients correct? And the second thing is, what is in them that shouldn't be? Some certain things that might impact the health of the chickens. And that's been a question in the market for a long time here now. So what I do is, with these, I can control both the quality and the price of my chicken feed. Now, I could feed the chickens just the raw grains like this and they probably eat it, but then I'd lose the opportunity to do the fermenting process, and fermenting will really boost the quality and the nutritional value of your chicken feed. This is a bucket that has been fermented already, and I've actually been using it for a couple of days. I want to show you what it looks like down inside. So the grain, once it's submerged, it starts to ferment, just again like the sauerkraut does on your counter, and you can see the bubbles here where the gases are coming off. This has been submerged and the grain pieces are different now. They're swollen, they've absorbed a lot of water. The water that's in here is actually really good for the chickens. Again, it helps their gut. It's like vinegar almost, and there's a good pre and probiotic for them. You need a lid, and then you need some weighting. If you know anything about fermentation, you know that air and oxygen is what you don't want to introduce to your environment. You want this to be an anaerobic process. Otherwise, the grain will rot instead of fermenting. And that's not what we want. We don't want rotting. So what I do is I always add a weight. And first I lay down on top of the grain, a frisbee. You don't need a frisbee, you could do a dinner plate. Anything unbreakable, that's basically a barrier. And I put this plate, frisbee in this case, inside one of my empty grain bags, kind of just like that, and then just lay it on top. And then after that, I put a brick on top. Again, weighting down your material when you're fermenting is an important part of the process. So I put that, again, inside one of those empty bags, and I weight it down. What happens is that keeps it anaerobic, keeps it submerged, keeps it fermenting instead of rotting. Let me show you what it looks like when we do it from the beginning of the process. When I first start a new batch of fermented grain, I'll go ahead and just add it to my bucket. I'll do about a half a bucket full. For my size flock, about 14 birds, they'll use that much in about 4 days, and that's where you want to be. 3, 4, 5 days. You don't want any feed to be in the bucket longer than that, because at some point it's going to start getting rancid. When you add your feed to the level you want, you just want to make sure that you add enough water to get it submerged. And so I add rainwater that I collect in buckets, and I'll just go ahead and add that right now and make sure that it's totally submerged. This is what it looks like when you first added the water, and you want to just mix this together a little bit to make sure that all of the grain is wet. Now it will want to float to the surface a little bit. I will consider this submerged for the time being, because it is going to absorb that water and it will sink below, and it will actually absorb so much of the water that the water level will go down. What you'll want to do is maybe in one day add a little bit more water to submerge once again. But after that, don't add any more water, because we want this grain to basically make its own vinegar solution in there. The organic, yummy, probiotic, prebiotic that helps the chicken so much. And if you add water too much, you might dilute that. Next, I add my barrier disc, in my case, the Frisbee that I put in that bag, that feed sack, and then my brick, which is my weight, in another feed sack. And basically what that does is that holds most of that grain underneath the water. I will then put the lid on, and the lid is really important. Again, we want this to be anaerobic. We don't want it to be an oxygen producing thing. So you want to keep it as far from air as possible. In about 1 day, you'll start seeing bubbles. That's a good sign because that means it's fermenting. You can use even up to 1 day, 1.5 day, you can start using from the bucket. The best peak time is around 48 hours, 2 days, and then you definitely want to use it all if you can by about 5 days. 4 or 5 days is the limit. After that, you probably just want to throw it out and not use any of the rest of it because it will start getting rancid. Regarding the grains, you want to keep some things in mind. These raw grains, which I love to have because I know they're healthy for the birds, do have weevil eggs in them. And if you have too much grain at one time and you store it for too long, the weevils are eventually going to hatch. I typically, now that I know that, don't have that problem anymore because I don't keep a lot on hand at any one point and I use it up quickly. A bag for me won't last very long with the birds that I have. You also want to make sure, because of that, not to store it in your house, not to store it in your garage. I put it in my barn, but if you don't have a barn, maybe think about having a bin outside that's waterproof, maybe put a tarp on it, and then be able to get it out of that at that point. So it's just really important to make sure that you know there are critters in this. A second thing about the grain is, and it's a really good thing, is that this is a scalable process. So you don't have to have a lot of grain at once that's fermenting. If you have only 3 or 4 birds in your backyard, you may want to consider just going ahead and putting some grain in a jar, using the same process where you cover it with water and let it ferment. You may want to consider a fermenting lid to let that gas go off. When I do it in the 5-gallon pails, because I'm opening that lid daily to check it or take some of the grain out, that gas is releasing. But in a jar, you may not have that luxury, so you may want to consider a fermenting lid with a hole in it. But definitely a scalable size, and you can just give a little bit to your birds every day. You don't really need a lot because this actually is healthier than the commercial grains and they need less of it because of that fact. So it's a really enjoyable process. My hens have loved eating our grain, our fermented grain, and they're thriving. And I'm excited to share that with you.